Hey, I got to interrupt here before we get into the podcast. I just want to say congratulations to Seth Fighter. You're going to be able to date the podcast as being recorded before July 16th because we talk about Seth possibly winning the Angler of the Year and being at the last tournament. And anyways, I'm not going to get into it. I'm just going to keep this short and say congratulations, Seth. Obviously, you guys listening are going to be able to date the podcast, but that's fine. It's a very good podcast still. It holds up. We just had that one little thing in there that didn't necessarily make the transition into Monday. So thanks for listening, guys. Now into the podcast. Here we go. How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast, a show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
And I am Tim Wagner.
Tim, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Took the day off of work, went to the doctor, got some, just like a regular checkup with some stuff, blood work done. And the doctor's like, you're good on everything. But then she's like, maybe you want to try a Mediterranean diet. And I'm like, whatever, doc.
Whatever, doc. I'm going home to have fucking pepperoni pizza. Eat shit.
Mediterranean. Like, I don't even know what that is. I know that Arby's has the Euros, and Darth Vader says it's a Mediterranean taco. So, guess more Arby's?
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard.
Oh, that's great. So today's topics are going to be part one. The fishing we're going to talk tournament fishing, and I don't think we're really going to get into the pros, but you know how we do. We kind of we get a topic, we get educated, and then we kind of riff on it. So we'll see where it goes.
Yep.
We're going to talk tournament fishing. I actually have it in the document, Tournament Fishing 01. We will definitely do this more than once. There's no doubt about that. And then we are going to talk about the Summer Olympics because goddamn, dude, we are so pumped over here in my house for the Olympics. I've already been working on a whole bunch of stuff because we don't get antenna TV for shit. So anyways, we'll get into that in the second half of Random Take. We're going to talk the Summer Olympics. So before all that, what do? We do housekeeping. You did some housekeeping today, huh? You feeling, you told us before we went live, you're feeling your pod space real hard right now.
Dude, I'm feeling my space because straight up, I had cats. I had
Sorry to hear that.
Cats. Yeah. And one
guy.
of them passed away, Dasher. Dude was the coolest cat in the world. I may have said this on the podcast before, but like Dasher was just, you come home and he's at the door like a dog and he would talk. He'd be like, meow, 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 meow. You're just like, yeah, what's up, dude? And then he would eat at dinner with us. He'd sit in the table and he'd have his own chair and he'd just chill there. And every once in a while he'd put his hand up and he'd be like, kind of just tapping on the table like, hey, you want to pass something my way? You're just like, yeah, dude. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, you had exactly.
Yeah. But like he was just a super cool dude, and he honestly changed my perception on what a cat could be. And then
for sure.
My wife was at her grandma's house, and there was like a kitten that was like all by itself underneath it was like late fall, and it was like underneath the porch there, and it was rainy, and she's like all by herself. Can we just keep her? I'm like, I guess. Like, I guess cats are cool. And then we got it, and I'm like, cats are exactly what the fuck I thought they were. Dasher's just the coolest fucking cat in the world. This other one sucks shit. Just
like
hissing
all other cats. Fuck you.
Hissing at babies and shit. Like, what are you? You're such an asshole. I can't believe we rescued you.
We rescued you, and this is what you give us?
We screwed up. I bring you into my home and you hiss at a baby? Ugh. We thought you were just like, oh man, she needs us. She needs shit. She will murder
a wild
anything.
Animal, baby.
She will murder anything that comes close to her. But yeah,
Oh.
anyways, he was having some issues towards the end, and they would have accidents here and there, and
Mm-hmm.
with him gone and it being more manageable, I tore up all the carpet, and I got sensies on and stuff, and it's just smelling nice down here. I don't
Your
smell
space is just
nothing. Just
fucking
ooh,
vibing.
just feeling it, dude.
Just feeling it.
Got a little bit of burr up in her. Talking like
Nice.
Nelly now.
Nice.
Whoops.
I didn't see that coming. But all of a
I didn't
sudden, the
either. I
Nelly
didn't
came
even
up.
mean to do it. It just came out. I don't even. Neither of us were really big Nelly fans, so I'm not sure
Right.
why I said that. Next podcast, all of a sudden, I'm gonna be wearing a Band-Aid on my face for no reason.
What happened? You got something on your face there. What happened?
Yeah, I can't say anything with an ER without saying her. You're there and her and her. And
That was a flash in the pan moment that was there. It wasn't it?
I think it was a collective thing. Like everybody's just like, "What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, "Oh, yeah, it's kind of stupid, huh?"
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go make some
Yeah,
country songs now.
yeah.
What? Okay, get that money, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into the housekeeping of the podcast. Tim was gesturing to say how cool Dasher was. You people
Yes.
on patreon.com/realaftv, real with two E's, could see that because that's where we're putting the video version. The video version will be public soon. I promise.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know I've been saying that for a long time now. I feel like it. But I was editing the video and I saw your video feed coming over and what it was feeding in at, and I was like, shit, I gotta come up there. We gotta do a live one together, and I gotta edit your video. You look good. It looks fine, but it could use some improvement. So just hang in there, guys. We're fucking in beta mode. Okay. Go over to patreon.com/realaftv. You can still get the video podcast for $1. That's all it takes. But hey, if you can do $50, you get a custom painted lure from Real
Yeah.
AF TV. And I really want to fucking do that. So somebody sponsor us at $50. Come on, just 1 month. All you have to do is do it for 1 month.
Yeah, one time.
That's it. Just 1 month. We just want to do it.
For
Maybe
one
we'll just have to
easy
do one and put
payment
it on
of
social
$50
media.
a month, you could sponsor our podcast and help a starving artist. I don't know.
A couple starving artists that just want to make it doing podcasting.
We're not
video.
starving artists. I was just trying to be funny. We're
fine
we're
enough.
guys. We're fishermen. That's what we are.
Yeah, we're doing all right. And then I kind of fucked up the split this week. The week this is coming out, the week before I fucked up the split. So I apologize for that. The split will be out. You guys will have it Friday night. Well, it's already past that. It's fucking Monday. What am I talking about? I'm an idiot. I fucked up the split and it didn't drop on our normal schedule. That's my bad. It was an oversight on my part, and I just want to apologize on the podcast for that and say I'm doing my best to stick to 40 and 40. Obviously, housekeeping, us talking at the beginning, hey, whatever. We're going to do that. That's us. We're just being us. But I'm trying to keep the minutes at 40 and 40 for the topics. So that way you can be a little bit more scheduled around us, a little bit more what to expect.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that. I just want to get improvements out there. Let everybody know, hey, we're always working. We're always trying to get better. Let us know in the comments and, hit us up on realaf.tv, sorry. And let us know, is 40 minutes enough? Are we going into the 2-hour mark? Is that okay with you guys? We get long-winded sometimes, don't we?
Yeah. It's easy to do.
It is. Me and you are
I should say it's more like not hard to do.
Yeah, not for us.
It's not like we're trying, no. We just kind of just like the beginning part.
Right.
I mean, none of that was planned.
No.
We just talked
We're
about
10 minutes in and almost.
Yeah, we just talked about 6 different things out of the blue. Like, hey, this thing and that thing and these other things.
Right. But don't forget, we're always on our normal schedule of every other Monday still. So we're going to be there. We're going to, even though I screwed up the split. So Tim, let's do it. We're 9 minutes in, and we are going to start the fishing topic. Tournament fishing. I have one question for you is
Yep.
how much research have you done in your fishing lifetime on tournament fishing?
So I haven't done a lot of research on tournament fishing. I know kind of what it takes, I guess. I know like when, for the most part, when they want you to be there, when they want you to be
Mm-hmm.
out, like how you do your stuff. I know everything it takes, like what I need to have to tournament fish.
Oh,
But I
okay.
also see that like I get intimidated by trying myself right now because I see people that are trying to tournament fish that have like 30 rod and reel, like the pros have like 30 rod and reel setups, and I'm like, I have two baitcaster reels and I
And
want
when you say the
more.
pros, I mean you're talking like watching B.A.S.S. Like you're
Yeah,
watching Bassmaster
I'm
stuff.
talking
Yeah.
like legit pros, because I mean, if you do the math on those and lowball it at $150 a piece, that's like $4,500 worth of rods and reels, not counting the line or the lures it takes to put on them. And
Sitting
that's a
on either
low
side of
ball.
them at any moment. And yeah, you said low ball at
Low
150 for a
balling,
rod and reel.
low balling easy for saying 150.
Jesus Christ, dude. I spent $40 on a new. So our buddy Sam, our mutual buddy Sam, we talked about him before on the podcast. What up,
Yep.
Sam? If you're listening,
What up, Sam?
he bought us.
Cheers.
He bought us some. Yeah, cheers, buddy. We talked about him on the podcast before, and he bought us fishing rods for his bachelor party.
Yes, very cool.
The tip of mine ended up getting busted off in an unfortunate SUV packing incident.
That shit happens. I got a lot of broken tips.
And so I went to replace it because I was like, I love this thing. I'm just going to go replace it. And I think it was like, I think it was like 40, 50, 60 bucks. I'll just say between 40 and 60 bucks. I'll just say
Yeah.
that. Right. And I was like,
Yep.
holy hot damn. This is a nice fishing rod.
Yeah.
How the Jesus? And you're talking low ball 150 for these pros per
Low
setup.
ball, Daiwa pros, Shimano pros. Like if you are fortunate enough to be a legitimate Daiwa pro and they're giving you their top of the line stuff, which I'm assuming they're giving to you and
Mm-hmm.
not you go out and buy, because you probably go a little bit lesser. I don't know. If you're a pro at that level, maybe you're buying whatever, but a Daiwa Steez rod and reel setup is about $1,000. It's $500 for the rod, $500 for the reel. And at that rate, with 30 rods and reels next to you, you have $30,000 worth of stuff.
You have a nice truck's worth of money sitting on your left and your right side in your boat.
Yep. And that's just the stuff
Holy
on your boat. You also have to buy a boat, and then all the electronics and all that other stuff, and just but like I could get away with not having all that stuff. But there's such, when you're looking at a timed scenario, there's such an advantage to somebody that has all the rods and reels and setups that they want to use, plus having the proper lines to do each technique when they're just like, this isn't working. I think this will work, and to be able to switch back and forth just like that.
Don't
And
mind my keyboard just like vigorously taking notes of like other topics that we have to cover throughout this episode.
So just like watching everything that they do is intimidating to think like I could just go out there and try to do it with what I have. So that's one of the things that intimidates me. Like I've never felt like I have even the gear. Like
Yeah.
if I could have just enough rods and reels to get by with like the techniques that I prefer to throw, not to have
Okay.
like every single thing in the boat, but if I can have like a good 10 setups, that would be a different
That's
story.
sure. I mean, 10's even so if because I watch a lot. I started when we started the podcast, I started watching a lot of professional fishing. Not that I hadn't caught it every once in a while before, but
Yeah.
like now I try to follow it because it's genuinely caught my interest, right? It was an effort to be better at the podcast, but it also is just like pardon the pun, but when it hooks you.
Yeah, dude.
like when you start watching, you get hooked.
Mm-hmm.
And so uh yeah, there's more than 5 reels on the right and left hand side of almost every single one of these Bassmaster Pros.
Oh yeah,
It's and you're saying like if I had 10, I'd be cool. And I'm thinking there's probably 7 or 8 on one side of the
yeah,
boat
yeah,
when you're watching Bassmaster.
right. Because they have
Holy fuck, dude.
everything.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because they don't just have like all the different rods and reels set up with each technique. They have like each technique, but then like subtle differences. Like,
Yeah.
oh, he chased this bait. I'm throwing a reaction bait out after it to try to get him to bite because he didn't actually chase. He chased that one, but he didn't commit. Maybe he'll commit to this one.
Yeah, and you see that
You
all
know?
the time when you watch the
Mm-hmm.
pros. They'll just be like, "Whoa, whoa," like they'll
Yeah,
hectically drop one, grab the next one. It's almost like they know right where the fucking thing is too. Like
yeah,
it's almost like here's what's on the far right, and here's what's on the inside right, and then the next one in on the right hand side and left. And it's like it's like they know where to go. Like you just said, it's like if they find a chase and it doesn't bite, but they saw the fish, they like it feels like they just drop it and go and grab, and they know what the next
yeah.
setup is, where the next it's like
Well,
they don't even look. It's crazy. It's
yeah.
like a quick draw.
That's right. That's one thing for them too. Most of them are so damn organized because they
Mm.
have the money to have all the gear to make them organized. Like they have all the nice trays and all the nice setups and stuff. I got
Hmm. Hmm.
my tackle box. I got a bag that holds some soft plastics, but that thing's busting at the seams. And I'm normally carrying around like a regular like Fleet Farm, plastic bag with me, holding a bunch of
Sure.
extra shit because I most likely
Yep.
just bought some stuff to go out that weekend. That happens
It's
a
got
lot.
the plastic bag. It's still got the Fleet Farm.
Yep. Yep.
Let me get this out of the bag. It has the receipt fucking flying out
Right.
with it.
Yep. Yep.
I know. I fished with you enough.
Yeah. Right.
Every time.
Every time, dude, I got new shit almost every time. Because it's always like, sometimes I forget where it is too. I'm like, I know I need these hooks. I think I got some someplace. I don't want to look. I just want to go buy more.
Yeah, and so I heard one of the crazy things because they were in this so the Monday that this comes out,
Yeah.
it was it the week prior or are we already 2 weeks behind, man? It's 2 weeks ago already. Whew. So they were just up north. The Bassmaster just came up north finally. They were over in New York, and that's where
Mm.
the smalls come out. The smallmouths come out,
Yep.
and uh, it's a whole different game. Like everything changes. And Seth Fighter,
Yep.
here, Minnesota boy. What up, Seth?
Yep.
Hopefully you're listening. Ooh, yeah,
Hey, what's up,
that's
Seth?
a wish. Anyways, yeah, no, he's super awesome to watch, and he's like really in the fight for Angler of the Year. So it was like a really good weekend to watch. But where I'm going with this is like they're talking about all the different people and where they're coming from, and like Takuhiro is from Japan, and he's
Yep.
coming over here, and like there's just like there's an Australian guy, and I can't believe I can't remember his name right now because he's super cool. I love listening to him fish. But they were they're jumping back and forth and just talking about everybody and talking to everybody, and then they just go like I didn't even see Hank the whole time. Maybe he didn't come up here and fish, but Hank Cherry, the guy who just won the Bassmaster Classic for the second time, you called
Yeah.
it the Super Bowl of fishing.
Yep.
They said they talked to him, and they said one of the biggest things that he now has going for him is he doesn't have to worry that much about the financial strain of being a professional angler. I was like, whoa,
Yes.
holy shit. This guy just won the Super Bowl for the second time and is just now. I'm like, fuck, man,
Yeah.
fishing needs to be bigger.
Well, one of the things with him too, winning it for 2 times in a row, you've cemented yourself as one of the all-time greats. So now you're going to get
Right.
more deals. You're going to get more, like, there's
Yeah.
big personalities that will get sponsorship and be able to sell more stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
greats that fish well normally have a line of stuff that comes out. Like people start paying attention to what they're using more. So then you
Oh.
have, like Kevin Van Dam has stuff, and
Right.
Mike Iaconelli has
Yeah.
stuff, and like all
You
these
can put your
big name.
name you can put
Yeah.
your name you can put your stamp on something that keeps
Hmm.
selling.
Yeah, because you'll work
Mhm.
in cahoots
Mhm.
with somebody like Kevin Van
Yeah.
Dam. All
Yep.
of his stuff, at least it was. I haven't looked into his stuff recently, but it used to all be quantum. So
Okay.
like quantum rods, quantum reels, and stuff. But you could get all the
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah,
Van
and he
Dam
gets a
stuff
chunk of
was
every sale too, so,
yeah,
like,
and it
that's,
was
like,
like
the
stuff.
perpetual
It's
income stream.
legitimately stuff that they like work to design. Where he's
Oh!
like, these are the rods that I want
Mhm.
to use. These are the reels
Mhm.
that I want to use, and then they're just
Yep.
like, that's perfect. We're gonna give you all this stuff, and we're also gonna like mint all these and
Mhm.
sell them everywhere, and everybody can use the exact same shit you're using. So
Right,
that's
yes,
what
and
gets people excited. Like, I'm using
mhm.
the same thing as the two-time Bassmaster champ, Hank
Right,
Cherry.
right.
Plus, what a dope name. It's so marketable.
I know, dude, him
Like,
and Seth have the most marketable names, like, in the history of sports.
dude, Fighter is so good. He's got like all his baits are like Cage Fighter and the Stealth Fighter and the,
Hell
just
yes.
yeah, it's so dope.
That's so good. That's so good. And yeah, and I didn't mean to say like these guys are just cashing in on like the perpetual selling of a rod. I didn't mean it to come off like that because I know that they're like in the lab with the R&D team. Like they're taking
Oh
this stuff
yeah.
out into the field and they're working on it and like Hank will come back with real genuine feedback like
Oh yeah.
tip was a little stiff on this one. I
Yeah,
don't think you should
exactly.
and
Yeah.
like they're
They're
really
yeah,
doing their work and then they're
yeah.
getting the like 4% of every sales or
Right. They
whatever.
are they are out there tuning it cuz like I said, they're
Sure.
tuning it for themselves. They're like, I
Right.
need this rod to be like this. I need you to make it like this cuz I need it for this. And then
Right.
they'll come back and they'll just be like, that one, And that's
Mhm.
like some of the first ones that I remember doing it that were like widely marketed were oh fuck, I can't think of his name right now. They were black and yellow. Skeet Reese. Skeet Reese
Okay.
would have his line that was selling at Walmart, and they were black and yellow, and they were the honeycomb technology
Okay.
by Wright and McGill,
Mm.
and they had specific techniques. Like the
Mm.
rods were made for the techniques. Like this one's for jigging,
Oh.
this one's for like,
Ah.
spinner baits, this one's for
Right, right.
whatever. And
Yeah.
he was legitimately like tuning everything. Like I want it for this, and then they'd make it, and then they'd stamp it like this is his,
Nice.
jigging whatever
Yeah,
rod, and
this is his yeah. Oh, that's sick. Okay.
yeah,
Well, we got a little bit on a sidebar because I didn't want to go that far into the pros, but that was a really good sidebar because what it what it did is it really outlined sort of the financial strain of being an angler, which we've talked about in our hobby podcast
yeah,
already. So go look at that, the cost of a hobby. I mean, we did it was just a really good podcast. Just go look it up on YouTube. And this is not a hobby anymore for these people, right? This is their profession. And
yes,
I started thinking about like, oh my God. And this is why I brought up the tournament that where Bassmaster is now up north because almost everything is fished down south. And it's not that they don't move around a lot on the south, but like uh I saw some people on Twitter that were driving from like central Texas to northern New York, right? And they have to drive. Luchador.
headlocked
That's
it,
for you Patreon video people. Go over to
Patreon,
patreon.com/realaftv, real with two E's, and check us out. $1. You
yeah,
can unlock the video.
a luchador just headlocked my bottle cap off.
But the travel too, because that's the thing I think that a lot of people are overlook with fishing. And I wanted to talk to you about because we have 10,000 lakes. There's water everywhere. And turns out
Hmm.
there's a ton of tournaments, which we're about to get into here. But I wanted to ask you is because we're just normal people, I guess. I don't know. That sounds so stupid. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to edit that out. I'm not going to edit that out. It's too much work. Let me rephrase that. Is traveling 2.5 hours on a Saturday is still a lot to do pulling a boat
It's a
and
long
then
journey,
fishing
yeah.
all day.
Hmm.
So think about someone from Texas. You can't fly that boat anywhere. You literally have to drive across the country
Yes,
with a
sir.
truck because your boat weighs so much. You need a
Yeah.
truck. So like that, just the travel, and then you have to lodge somewhere, right? Like you have to find somewhere to stay because you just left home with 24,
Right.
12 hours ago, 24 hours ago, and
Yep.
you drove across the country with a boat in a truck.
Yep.
Is that for us, even you, being in the middle of the state, is that play a factor in this whole situation? Like, when you had a big
Yeah.
bass boat and you have a truck, you could pull it, but like
Yeah.
that's an extra layer.
Well, I look at it like this. Like some people don't look at certain sports as athletes,
Right. Yep.
but they are. Like it, it's fishing that long and that hard can be pretty physical. It's
Sure.
not to the same
Especially
extent.
bass fishing specifically, right?
Yeah, yeah, because you're casting a lot, you're moving a lot. You gotta,
Covering
you got
water.
the waves are moving and stuff. Your muscles are definitely feeling it if you're on the
Mm-hmm.
lake all day trying to hold still and whatnot.
Right.
But like when you compare it to other sports,
Mm-hmm.
if you're a basketball player, somebody's paying for you to go to the other team's stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's paying you to do absolutely everything you do.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a fisherman, you're
Mm-hmm.
paying to drive there. You're paying to, for all your equipment, unless you have sponsors and stuff, which,
Right. Yep.
that's the key, is to get the sponsorship.
Right. Yep.
But also, like when you're starting out, you're also paying to even be entered in the tournament. Could you imagine if like you were a football
Mm-hmm.
player or a basketball player and they're
And you
just
had to
like,
pay $250 just to get
yeah,
on the field?
it's $30,000 for you to play this game. Like, well, shit. I
Right.
guess I'll
Right.
make like 260,000. So yeah, okay, all right, yeah, I'll do it.
Right. Okay. I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah,
And
I'm in.
that's a perfect transition because one, I don't want to get too far into that because that's actually another topic that we are going to get into. We're going to get into that topic, not today. So I'm going to cut you off and say that is the perfect transition to there are fees actually for the tournament, the people holding the tournament. Did you know that?
For the people holding the tournament.
Yeah, so like in Minnesota, and I kept it to Minnesota because it's easy for us to research. But the Minnesota DNR collects fees based on your tournament. Like
Hmm.
the size of your tournament, you have to give the DNR like $250 or something like that to even hold a tournament, and it's a way of them sort of regulating to keep tournaments from just getting crazy, right? So that there's not too many
Yeah,
tournaments. So yeah, you actually like the people who put on the tournament.
yeah.
They actually have to pay a fee to the DNR, which
I
I'd have no
guess
problem with. I'm just like, damn, dude, did you know that?
if I did know that, I don't remember it. Yeah, like I knew that you had to like clear it to have like a legitimate tournament. You couldn't just be like, we're having a tournament today. Like if it's between
Right,
your friends or whatever, that's different.
right. Of course,
But
100%. Yep.
like a legit tournament where you have entry fees and stuff, I knew you had to like clear it with them, but I didn't know that they would
Mhm.
take a chunk of your money.
Yeah, yeah, they do. So it's like this many boats. Well, you have to pay this much. This
Right.
ice, and I could look it up. I have it here, but it's not important. I just wanted to bring up the fee. Like, you know, this part of tournaments goes towards conservation, which I was like, oh shit, that's very different. I didn't expect that to
Yeah.
happen.
I didn't know.
And in Minnesota, we call them ice fishing contests for the most part, right? Wouldn't that be the word you would use?
I mean, I hear tournaments used a lot too.
Yeah, and during ice
So
fishing.
yeah, because I guess it
Okay,
depends. Like the contests, I think are more. I don't know.
they're
There
your
are,
casual, right?
yeah, because they're like, I guess tournaments are more like when you're like legitimately out there trying to catch like the biggest fish, and there's a lot of prizes for that. Like there are
Yeah.
contests where they're
Mm-hmm.
just like the 432nd place gets this prize. So you're just
Right.
completely
Right.
random. Like you're
Yep.
fishing and it might not be the best day out there for you, but it doesn't matter because your one sunfish put you in perfect position to win their ATV because
Right.
it's
Yep.
all just it's all a lottery at that time at that point.
Right. Yeah. And like we have a ice fishing contest here in Chaska. And it's actually really a fundraiser for the fire department. I assume it's registered. I didn't look it up because I didn't make it to December. It's a long
Yeah,
list of tournaments. But that was the thing that I wanted to point out is like tournaments are all year here in Minnesota. If you wanted to be a professional angler, you could. I really think you could. Even full time, not a full time. I think with a family and a full time job, it's really hard. But if you
yeah.
wanted to be like make money being an angler on the weekends only, I think you could do it, dude. Did you know that
I
Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's has like big money tournaments in the state?
Yes,
You did. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Because there's legitimate like there's never been a shortage of big money tournaments, but like we were talking about with the
Hmm.
buy-ins and stuff,
Yeah.
I'm not
Hmm.
dropping $2,500 with my couple of rods and my glorified paddle boat to go up against these like $60,000 boats with
Yeah. Yeah.
$20,000 worth of electronics and another $20,000
Hmm.
worth of rods and reels. Like, not saying that I couldn't outfish them, but they have a pretty
Right.
big advantage going
Right.
against them, and I don't want to risk that money. $2,500 right now for me and a lot of people
Yeah.
is
I was gonna
quite a
say
big chunk of money.
it's yeah.
And even the small tournaments, I'm like not even confident enough in, well, I shouldn't say confident enough. It really comes down to currently I don't have a legitimate boat, and I've never really ever had a
Hmm.
legit boat, something that I would be comfortable with trying to fish into tournaments.
No.
I had I had an old
Yeah, your old bass boat. You wouldn't be comfortable with that
well,
something
I
like
had
that.
a nah, that one was okay, I suppose. But
Okay.
it also like when the conditions weren't perfect, the waves would come over the back pretty easy, and
Yeah.
the way it
Sure.
was designed, it's not built like the best boats now, where if the water comes over the back, it's not that big of a deal. Like this, the water was coming over the back and going directly in the holes where like all the cables are, so all the water is coming in the back and going directly into the floor. And I'm just like, all this water is going directly into the boat. Like it's not,
Right. Right.
none of this
Sure.
is washing away. But yeah,
You're like
so
shit.
yeah, so it was that boat. Um, Also, it didn't have a like super reliable motor. Never quite did. So that's another thing.
Mm,
Like I don't want to go
yeah,
to a
because
turn where I'm like,
right.
like I just want to drive up and
Because
so
there's launch times and there's like check-in times and like you have to make those in a tournament. I mean, that's all there is to it. Is like
yeah,
you know your busted ass motor. Sorry, it's not an excuse. Like rules are rules.
right,
I'm just like that's how it
yeah,
is.
yeah, exactly, and that's why I'm like just knowing
Hmm.
I'm not trying to enter this into a tournament. And the Bobby that I had before that was like a it was 1970 something Alumacraft. Like
Yeah, I mean, it was just a fishing boat. Not to like, I'm not saying
yeah,
it's junk, but like those are
no,
just
right,
it's just like think of an old guy fishing boat. That's what it was. It was just like a
yep,
hand me down style fishing boat. It was perfectly
yeah,
fine. Got you
and
fishing,
yeah, and I
but
and I
like
caught a
you
lot
just
of
don't feel
fish off
comfortable
it.
entering a Lake Mille Lacs walleye tournament with
Right,
that shit.
that's yeah, and that's sometimes I did think about it.
Yeah,
Like, man, how good would it feel to like show up and have people just be
that's what I
like,
was gonna say,
"You could have
dude.
loaded this fucker here with this boat," and then you just be like, "Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing," and then just like skip a fucking jig under a dock like a boss. I don't know. Is how do you use these things even?
What's high score mean? Did I break
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
What did, what does
Is
that mean? What's high score?
did I break it? What was new high score? I don't know what that is.
Is that good?
Right. Just like get like a 23-inch bass. You're just lifting it up. Wow. Hey, how come none
Is
of
this
your
big?
guys' fish look like this? Did I catch, is this the wrong species? What is this thing?
Should I throw it back? I'm
Should I
not sure if
throw?
I should keep.
Am I
Is this
supposed to?
wrong?
Yeah. Do you guys have live wells? Where do you put?
Fuck yes. Oh my god. So I so I was going through these tournaments and I saw the Cabela's and Bass Pro Shops has like a big walleye tournament. It's $650, which even that, Tim, you were saying 2,500 earlier, and I'm just like, so this tournament has 50K. 50K is the low end. So you can just look up these tournaments. They just post them. Like the DNR just has all the registered
Yeah,
tournaments.
I
I didn't know
did.
that. And I was like, holy shit. So I looked it up and, it's just like, hey, here's a walleye tournament. And it says the estimated prize. And it's like 50K to 99K. It's just short of 100K. I'm sure there must be some sort of weird tax thing. Anyway,
Right.
the point being is like, wait, so you're telling me I can spend $650 and I can fish the whole weekend and there's a possibility of winning 50. Dude, if I won 50K in a weekend, that'd be my job to work one day a week.
I would definitely quit working for that year. I'd be like,
For that whole year, right?
I
You
will
win that
see.
50K, you're just like,
Yeah,
later.
I will see you guys. Maybe next year. We'll see how
Maybe
next
next year if
weekend
I
goes.
lose.
I don't know. I have a couple of good weekends here. I'm never coming back. This weekend has me set for the rest of the year.
Right.
And I'm going to go see how the rest of this shit goes. So, peace, dudes. I'm gone.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So, like, when you see something, I see something like that, and I'm like, okay, I could scrounge up 650. I know I could never win a tournament, but it's also this was specifically a walleye tournament. There's so many different kind of tournaments
some of
around,
those
but like
too have other qualifiers.
there we go.
Like,
That's
yeah.
exactly what you bring to this podcast, man. Like you bring all the stuff. But okay, tell me more.
Yeah, so it's not just like some of those you're not allowed to just enter. Like you have to be invited.
Mhm.
So you have to
Yeah.
win other small time tournaments
Yep.
to ever be even close to eligible to
Yeah.
fish these bigger ones. It's not like any Joe Smo, Schmo, Joe Flopo, he's Smomo. I don't know. It's not like just any dude. Yeah, it's not like any fro bro can just show up and and be like, "Here's my $650. I'd like to try to win
Mhm.
your 99,000, please."
Right. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, that makes
So,
it, and especially with the big names of Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's
yeah,
behind it,
right,
that like that right away makes me go, well, yeah, of course that's how that fucking works. Duh. You didn't
right.
think of that? It's like, no, I didn't fucking think of that because I don't think of that stuff. That's
Well, and
why you're here.
some of them too, like those prizes aren't like to one person. Sometimes there's teams.
Yeah, actually
So
saw a
you got
couple of those.
Yeah, so you got a 2-person deal, so you're gonna split that down the middle,
Right.
or whatever you guys come to agreement with. Every once in a
Yeah.
while, I see people on Facebook that are just like, "I'm going tournament fishing. I need a partner," and they're literally
Really?
just like fishing out there for partners. Even they're just like,
Really?
"Hey, I need somebody to come," and then you have like 40 people that are like, "I tournament fish all the time with my brother. I do this, I do that," and everybody's just like, "Yeah." But a lot of times I
I
want to
didn't
be,
fucking ask for that. I asked for somebody who wants to come
yeah.
fishing with me.
A lot of times I just want to be like, here's my resume. I've never tournament fished before. I have a couple
But
rods and reels, and I will show up with a grocery bag full of shit.
full of brand new shit from Fleet Farm, baby.
Full of brand new shit from Fleet Farm. They'll just be like, "Did you just buy all this?" I'll be like, "Yeah." "Have you ever been fishing before?" "I mean, yeah, but I like new stuff. I got new things." "Trust me, dude. They're gonna catch fish. It's okay."
Just trust me.
I looked at the weather. I saw what I want to do this weekend, and I went and bought what I want to fish. Like, that's what I did.
Right. Like, trust me, this isn't my first fucking rodeo. I just never done this shit before.
This is gonna work. Like, that's why I went and bought this, because I know that this is gonna catch fish this weekend.
Oh my God, we should make you a fucking fishing resume. As soon as you said that, I was like, dude, I want to make a fishing resume now. Like, we need to make real AF.TV needs a Tim fishing resume webpage.
Here's my resume.
Yeah,
The
dude,
biggest
I
fish I've
seriously,
ever caught was accidentally, or not accidentally, but unintentionally. Uh, just,
and I
just
like to
have it,
buy stuff from Fleet Farm.
just have it be the funniest resume ever. Just like I've had a couple of boats, they all break. I have a glorified paddle boat right now. It's got a top speed of 4 miles an hour. If your boat,
And I once live fished while my buddy was live playing video games.
yeah, and we got there a little bit too early to hit the crappie spawn. But I did catch some bass, and that's what you're looking for a partner for.
Boom.
Boom. What up?
I was trying to catch some crappie and I caught a bass. And
Yeah, even when I'm not trying to catch bass, I catch bass, bro. What up? Put me on your team.
have you ever heard of the Minnesota Bass Federation before?
That sounds familiar.
Okay.
I don't want to say that like I have for sure, but
Sure.
I'm on the different like fishing Facebook groups, so I'm sure I've
Okay.
seen it floating around there, but it's not like something where I'm just like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm part of it. And then all of a sudden I just like lift up my sleeve and I got a MN Bass Federation tattoo.
No, I got you. I looked them up or like I just was researching tournaments. That's what we're talking about, tournament fishing, and I saw the Minnesota Bass Federation, and it's like $250, and I'm like, oh, that's doable.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like 10K to 24K, and I was like, yeah, that's totally reasonable. And I'm sure there's like an entry fee to get into the federation because that's how I saw. I went into a little bit more in depth, and we'll get into them next on some of them. But they have like an entry fee to get into like the group, and I was just kind of like,
Okay.
is that what Bassmaster is? Like, do you have to pay to be a Bassmaster member before you could actually be a Bassmaster tournament fisher? Like, is
You
that
have
kind
to
of what
be.
like is that what these groups are? Is that a thing? Have
Maybe.
you heard of that?
I think you have to be part of Bass to become like any like to fish for bass, but to be a bass member is like a $30 fee, and they send you a free hat. So
And a
it's
sticker.
yeah, and a sticker, and actually an iron-on patch. I have one.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
You
I remember
iron it
seeing those
on
as a kid.
whatever
My
you
uncle
want.
must have been a
Yeah,
Bass member.
I don't have anything like maybe onto a life jacket or something. I have one.
Oh yeah,
Might have a
that's a good
couple.
idea.
I've never put it on anything because I don't know what the fuck to iron it on.
Right. Nope, you make a good point. But I just anyway the Bass Federation, the Minnesota Bass Federation. I just wanted to bring them up because I was just like, huh, $250, and they have like 10K, 12, 10, 24K winnings. I was like, oh well, that's totally fucking doable. Maybe we
Yeah,
should
for
do more
sure.
research into them. But also, do you know what these winning? Because you said earlier you like a fishing contest, 437th place. They just pick a random number, and you
Right.
so happen to fall, and then you end up winning the like ATV because you got
Yep.
447th place. It's totally random. It's a lottery. With
Yep.
these, do you think or do you know that like 10K is a split between 5th and 10th place, and then the winner actually gets a full 24K, and then third place gets like a split? Like, do you know, have you looked far enough into tournament fishing at all to know that?
I think it's a pretty significant drop off from first to second place, and then it
Mm.
gets like slightly less as you go down.
Mm-hmm.
But like top 10 normally makes like normally gets you paid out.
Okay.
So like
Oh, okay.
you're making your money back and then some if you're in the
Mm-hmm.
top 10. So like if it was like, $30,000 total, payout or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably like 20K for first, and then like second place is like 5K,
Yep.
third is like 2, and then
Yep.
each way down, and it might be
Mm-hmm.
like the 5 through 10 are all in the same realm, because nobody really
Yeah.
bitches like, I got 6 and I made the same amount of money as the guy who got 8.
Right.
Like you're just like,
This
yeah,
is
none of
yeah.
you
Mhm.
won the whole show, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So
So I
I
do.
don't know 100% sure for sure, but
Mhm.
like
Just kind of
that's
what you've seen just
yeah.
piling around.
Yeah,
Sure.
what I've seen is like first definitely gets a lot, and then
Mhm.
you got those other ones, and a lot of times the smaller time tournaments will have a payout for big fish too,
Oh,
which
right.
a lot of
Yes, yes. There's
times
like
gets
always a big fish
yeah,
prize or something like
and
that.
a
Yeah.
lot of times you get doubled up when you're the winner, because a lot of times your big fish is one of the reasons that you're in that
Is
top 10 spot. But
right,
it
right.
does
For
happen
sure.
where somebody gets the big fish, and that was the only one they caught. They were tossing giant baits all day, only got
Oh,
one bite,
and
but
only
it
got
got
one
them that
big fish.
check because it was a monster fish going for their monster lure.
Right. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Uh the so I looked up this one I did a little bit more research into Greenhorn Bass Tour. I was like, "Huh. Well, that sounds like something that is really interesting because they're actually kind of a lot. I feel like our values, like Real AFTV values and
Yeah.
Greenhorn values, and I don't want, like, I'm not speaking for them. I've never talked to these people before, but I'm just saying I read their About Us, and I feel like it lines up a little bit, like where they're just like, we want to teach people how to tournament fish. That's what this is about.
Okay.
It's not about coming out here and making money. It's not about coming out here with your Garmin and your brand new Skeeter and your, you know, and your $30,000 worth of reels and making 50 grand in a weekend. It's
Right.
about it's about getting part of the greenhorn like group and then going tournament
Yeah.
fishing. And they had a team date, and I was kind of like, fuck, we should look into that. Now I can't fish for shit, but you have taught me how to fish. Like I can fish when I'm with you, right? Like I feel
Yeah.
like you're really good at being able to tell me how to fish while you're still fishing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. As long,
And I was
I mean, like, to your credit, as long as people can like take direction, like
mhm.
a lot of fishing is getting where the fish are and knowing how to fish and being like where they like using the right technique.
Mhm.
So when
Mhm.
it's like bass are here,
Mhm.
I need you to cast out and do this.
Right.
And then you just do what I say and it works, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, that's
And
pretty much the majority of my adult fishing has
yeah.
been that.
Like I mean we went fishing that one time. Um Me, you and your wife.
Mhm.
And your wife, I was like, here's how I'm catching it. Do what I'm doing. And she
Mhm.
did. And then
Mhm.
she pulled in the northern. Like, hell
That
yeah.
cast.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yep.
It was awesome. I remember that.
So it's it's and not trying to be like I'm a great teacher. I'm just like, here's
No.
what I'm doing. Do what I do, and then it
Right.
works.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, you can break that up, dude. Fucking
yeah.
A. It worked. Makes you a good teacher. That's my opinion. But so going back to the Greenhorn Bass Tour, it's around the state. It kind of goes around the state, and um, it's got different dates. That's what I mean by it goes around the state. It goes so I feel like it's actually a little tournament. It's all contained here in Minnesota,
Well, like a
but
little
it's
series.
there we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yes. It's got stops just like the pros, but it's all about learning. In fact, it said in one of their points is if you fall into this, and it was like insert, if you end up being the winner on this lake, if you end up being the big fish uh champ of that lake, like if you end up getting the big fish award of that lake, it was like, insert your little what you won.
Oh,
If you end up
sure.
being that, you have to tell the group how you did it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like that's the
I like that.
mentality that they have. And I was like, fuck yes, dude. Because we've talked about that before, how like there it's different when you're a pro, when you're like in the MLF.
Yeah.
You're paying for real money, right? Like
Hmm.
this is your livelihood. So I get it. You want to protect secrets. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. You want to hold
Well,
tight. You don't want too many crowd in your shit.
to that too, some of them are like trying to get like for their sponsors,
Hmm?
where they'll lie and they'll be like, I caught them all on the Berkeley jerk bait or whatever.
Oh,
There was a famed one where I can't remember exactly which fishermen what they were, but they were just like, I've been catching them all on this. And
yep.
all the people that know the baits so well, they're just like, for sure, you were using a mega bass, this or that. Like we all
Mm-hmm.
saw it. You
Yeah,
caught all
like
your fish. We
you're in
watched the
HD,
tape.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in HD. We
You
can
were
tell.
not you were not using the jerkbait you said you were.
Holy shit! I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So even more, not to be like dismiss. Okay, very interesting. But so yeah, that I thought that was really fucking cool. Again, like how we kind of align with the greenhorn tournament is like we like you literally have to teach. Like you want other people to get good. It is about learning and just having fun. It's
Yeah.
about learning how to tournament fish
Well,
by being taught by
yeah.
people who
And when
know
you
how, sort of, but are also
yeah,
learning. Like I was like, man, this is fucking sweet.
right. Plus just making it a tournament makes it funner. Like
For sure.
people
Yeah,
like to
I
play
understand.
beach volleyball for like
Hmm.
recreation, which is cool. But
Yep.
there's always like tournaments at a bar where it's just like
Right.
you and like five other friends that you had,
Yep.
where they're just like, we're gonna go enter into this tournament. And it's not like any of those people are like, we're gonna be professional volleyball players. It's just
Right.
fun to have a tournament. You know, you're part of the bracket, you get to move
Yeah.
up. Like it's just
Yeah.
it
The
makes
the
there it,
competition makes it more
yes, the
fun, even
competition.
if you're not the fucking like, dude, we're gonna fucking win. Let's get out there. We're gonna go
Right.
fucking kick ass. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to be a shithead about it. It's
Right.
just the competition pushes you to be better.
Right.
Not yeah, it pushes you to be better. It gives you something to drive for, and that's to keep
Mm-hmm.
going for the next thing, the next bracket. I want to go there. I just want to do that. It would be fucking super fun to win this.
Mm-hmm. I
But
want to
you're
do this. I didn't I've never heard of this before. I 100% want to do this.
oh well, fucking hey, dude. We'll next time we hang out, we will look more into the Greenhorn Bass Tour
Cuz
for sure.
that sounds like the kind where they're just like, we want to teach people to tournament fish. Feels like the kind that I could show up in my little game fisher and
Hmm.
just be like, I'm here, bro. What's up?
Like I
Let's
can
do
get
this.
around. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's super cool. I mean it seems super cool. I hope that the people of it, and maybe we're gonna find out. Like maybe you're gonna find out. We'll find out. I don't. Obviously, you'd come and tell us.
Yes, for
But
sure.
yeah, and it had decent money too. I mean it. I don't remember the exact entry fees, and I didn't write that down because I was more focused on how they were learning, or like how they were teaching people to fish. And there were different brackets too. There's just like there's the amateurs, and then there's like the people who could be probably fishing some of the bigger ones, but they're still trying to get their chops real.
Right.
Almost like I like to watch. We like to on over here on my side of the family. We like to watch uh like local baseball, I guess. Like on Twitter, I
Oh,
follow the
yeah, yeah,
Northwoods, like the
okay.
Rocks up in St. Cloud, dude. Remember when we
Yeah.
went to that game? It's
Yeah.
mostly like the college kids have nowhere else to go, but they got to keep sharp because college
Right.
ball's the step before the pros. And it's almost
Yep.
just like going to that. That's what they were. They're still learning.
Yeah. Yep.
They still could be better.
And there's a middle ground before that even. This what
Sure.
you're describing in the fishing is sounds like the even the earlier stages of like how Glencoe had the Brewers. You're like somewhere
Yeah.
between high school and
Yep.
college.
Right. Yep. Yep.
So
Or even after, like for instance, here in Chaska, we have a local. There's towny teams, right? Like
mhm.
we'll play Chaska and we'll play Excelsior and we'll play Waconia and we'll just like all these towny teams around us. And there's like 45-year-old dudes on there that just have always played ball.
Yeah, right. They're just like I was
They're
never
good at playing ball. They understand the
right.
game,
Yep.
but like they're not pros.
Yeah, I, I it might not even be that it wasn't like a talent thing. It might just be like this other, you know, how we're talking about the tournament fishing,
Mm-hmm.
where they're just like, I really enjoy this. I do not
Mm-hmm.
have the commitment to play an insane baseball schedule and travel all over the world. I want to be home with
Right.
my kids.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So
Exactly. And that's exactly one of the things with like what we were talking about at the beginning is like, what does it really take? And with the lodging and the driving and like a full-time job and having that is like, how do you even get into it? Because when you have a family and you want to spend time with your kids and your wife and your family, and you also have to make sure to pay the bills. So you need that full-time job. It's just like, damn, dude, how do you pull the trigger? Like,
right,
there's so much to toss around, but hey, there's a lot of tournaments out there where it said that the winnings were over $1,000. I'm super curious if that is all the time. So if you're from the DNR and you run this tournament fishing thing and it says, hey, winnings are $1,000 plus, it's like, is that one person winning the grand or is that split out? Like we were
right,
talking about earlier between like, that's all the winnings.
right,
That's the estimated possibility of winnings. And we
right.
split that between the top 10,
Yep.
So if you're
Yeah.
listening with the Minnesota DNR and you know the answer,
Well,
please
and
contact us.
a lot of those tournaments where they're smaller too, they have less entry. They have less spots. So I think some of those only pay out like the top three. Like
Yep.
you're only getting
Sure.
check when you're the top three because
Yep.
there's only like 20 people in the tournament. Like so your odds of getting that top three are pretty high.
Are higher. Sure. Sure. Yep.
So and just
Because even if you could make $1,000 in a weekend, you'd be like, oh shit.
yeah,
Right?
right. Yep.
Like I can get a
And it,
part-time job now.
and it, I we don't really talk about this before we do the podcast.
Nope.
Little bit of behind the curtain stuff. Did you have anything else you want to talk about before we got into the next segment?
No,
Because
I was actually
otherwise,
getting ready to wrap it up.
what
What do you got?
what I'll touch on real quick is if you're thinking about getting into tournament fishing, like I know I was talking about like, oh, I'm intimidated. You could try to go out there with like less rods and reels. It's just you lose a little bit of time tying on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But a couple of things that I know that you should definitely have: get yourself a culling system. Culling systems are like the different colored. If you ever watch the pros, they have different colored balls and they have like little hooks that'll go on the fish's lip.
Oh.
And most of the culling systems come with a scale. Some of them they don't. If you don't have that, then
Mm-hmm.
you got to get a scale. But you weigh your fish.
Mm-hmm.
You have like a blue ball. You clip it on the fish. You write down the blue ball's weight. Put them in there.
Mm-hmm.
You get all your
Mm-hmm.
other fish, and then you can be like, all right, blue ball's the smallest one. And then
Mm-hmm.
you go and catch another one, and you're just like, oh, this is slightly more weight than the blue one. So then you have all these fish. So instead of just like eyeballing them up, like which one's the smallest, you just
Mm-hmm.
grab for that blue ball, toss him out, clip the
Toss
new
it.
blue ball,
Mm-hmm.
and get yourself a bass bag.
Oh.
Because I have seen people go to tournaments and bring their bass to the weigh-in spot. If it's that type of tournament, some of the newer ones now will measure your fish
Yep.
beforehand. So
Yeah.
like you weigh them or you
MLF
take
and
yeah, so you
yeah,
like
like the
weigh them or
MLF
take a
is just
photo.
like when official weighs it right there, takes it down, throw the fish back,
Yep,
right?
and a lot of the and a lot of the smaller time tournaments I think are less like that because they need to you can't really go on the honor system with some people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if you need to bring your fish in to have a weigh-in at the end of it, get a bag because the bag will have water and you can put your fish in and bring them up there and they'll be safe. I've seen people just put a bunch of fish in a net and you
Oh.
look like a real shithead showing up like that.
Showing up with fish drowning in the air.
Yeah, fish like no water. You just have like five
Right.
fish in a net. Everybody's just like, quick,
What
weigh
the
this guy
fuck?
in because he's just
Right.
killing these
Like
fucking
he's
fish.
killing these fish. The goal is to get them back in the water.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck,
So
dude.
that bag and the culling system, I think, are your two biggest things that you need to tournament fish. Besides that, you just need your gear and you can go out there and try with whatever you got.
Yeah, sure.
But
Hmm.
those two, I think, are the biggest key components. Plus,
Yeah.
having a live well, like
Oh, right.
you
Yeah.
want to be
Well,
able to
because you were
keep the
talking about the
fish.
culling system, and the culling system is completely dependent on the live well. And back to the bag. The
Right.
bag is a portable live well. Yes. The idea is have live fish. Right.
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 Yep.
Good. Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. Good advice. Good way to end tournament fishing. We are definitely not done with that topic. We will we will come back to that at a later time. But for now, that is our time. we are going to move into the random take. Part 2, we're going to talk about the Summer Olympics, the delayed Summer Olympics in Tokyo, Japan. Hit it.
Yeah.
To the break. Yes. And we're back from the break. It's the Real AF TV podcast, a show about fishing random takes from land 10,000 lakes. And we are on the random take, Tim. We are going to talk about the delayed Olympics, the Summer Olympics that are now the 2021 Summer Olympics. Sounds like it's going to happen. I mean, everything's on schedule to happen.
Yep, they're already having exhibition games and whatnot with the basketball team,
Are they?
and yeah,
Where are the exhibition games happening?
I'm not 100% sure where they're actually happening.
Okay,
but I know I saw one. They're just like, whatever team shocks U.S. and it's like it's an exhibition game. Like
nobody from the NBA is there right now.
Well, even if they are, they're not trying. Like, even
Right.
it's an exhibition. Like,
Yeah.
is it? I'll be shocked if we lose an actual game. But they're probably
if we lose any basketball game in the tournament at all.
Yeah, they're probably
we should go undefeated to get the gold for basketball.
Oh, we should for sure because
LeBron James just released Space Jam, so fuck, he's gonna be riding high.
Well, dude, the U.S. with most sports, we're the best of the best. Like, this is where everybody aspires to go to, regardless of where you're at. You come to the NBA if you're a top basketball player, regardless of what country you represent. You come to the NFL, regardless of what country you're at. If you're trying to play football, like,
true.
So,
true.
And especially, since we're talking about basketball, is like if all the best of the best come here, then for the most part, we're, we have the best players. But it's pretty rare that you have, I shouldn't say really rare, but it'd be really rare for, I'm gonna back up, start over.
Restart.
It is not rare for a good basketball player to come from a different country to play in the NBA. Right. It is very rare for them to be a lot of them coming from any one given country.
Right.
And
that's
the
what I was going to say.
Majority of the kids in the NBA are from America. So you're dealing with the majority of the NBA players versus,
the rest of the world.
One star NBA player going to play with the rest of his team that weren't good enough to make it into the NBA.
Right. Right. Yes, that's perfect. That is exactly the best way to put it. I know what you're saying, and we're not going to get on a rant about this, but there is, hockey. That is a definite exception. Yeah. But that's also winter. That is not. But it's not to say we're not top 3 or even gold medal contenders, because we are. Again, like the majority of the NHL is still. But when you got Canada, Switzerland, Finland, like you have these hard hitters that really come at you. But that brings us back to the Summer Olympics also, because there has been a steep decline from everything that I've been seeing in just baseball in general, just getting people to play baseball. And we've normally owned that space but baseball's back. Baseball and softball are both back for the Tokyo Games. And all I can say, the notes literally say, Japan.
Right. As I was going to say, Japan was pushing for it. They're just like,
for sure.
How are you going to, we're not having an Olympics here unless you put baseball back in.
Right.
Because Japan is all about baseball.
Oh my God. Japan loves baseball. As Americans, from the outside looking in, they love baseball. You can look that up. It's easy. They love baseball. And so, so I'm just like, I mean, nobody stands a chance in softball. Nobody plays softball like we do. I can almost guarantee that. I talked to the guys in the neighborhood coming back from our softball game this week, And it was just like, yeah, no,
No.
America, it's just like you're handing America a gold medal. But in order to have baseball, you got to have softball, right? The men play the baseball, the women play softball.
Yep.
And dude, you know Japan wants that fucking baseball gold medal so
Oh,
bad.
dude, it's probably the only one they care about. That they're just like, you fucking ain't right. We won the gold medal in the one sport that matters. You know?
Right. Yep. Yep. They're just gonna get that gold, and they're just gonna be like, "Fuck yeah!" I'm really curious if Cuba. Well, Cuba's going through a little bit of a revolution right now. It's pretty
Cuba.
cool. It's crazy. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's not, so they should still show up for the Olympics. Is what I'm trying to say. Is because the Olympics are scheduled for the 23rd already. So that would be Friday after the podcast launches. Like if you're listening to this on Monday, the 19th, when it launches, then Friday is when the Olympic Games are scheduled to start. They go all the way through August 8th, which I was just like, oh yeah, seems short, seems long at the same time. I guess I don't know
Right. There's
because
just
that's
so
like
much of it
two,
packed in because, yeah, it's like 2 weeks,
right,
but it's like constant.
right, exactly. It's just like constant, and that's always been my favorite thing about the Olympics is like you could be having a restless night and wake up at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, live Olympics, bitching.
Yeah. Just put on whatever. And you have no
The
idea what you're about
Ocho.
to get. You watch, yeah, you watch some sport that you never thought you'd be watching.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're
Like,
watching handball and you're like, I'm a big fucking fan of handball,
yeah,
dude. This is the shit. And you
all
caught it
of
at
them.
3 a.m. on a Saturday,
All of them.
on a Tuesday.
Yeah. You're seeing them like, I don't know exactly what they call it, but you see them like slalom, one man, kayak, rapids. You're just like, what is this? They're just like so fast and making a turn, and they're just like, oh, he missed the buoy there. And you're like, he
Right, right.
did? What is he
Did he?
trying? How is
Couldn't
this
even
what
see.
he's gotta go, and all of a sudden they like paddle upstream to go around a different flag, and you're just like, how
Right,
does he know what he's doing? This is nuts.
right. And you sit there and you just like mesmerized and you're mesmerized and you're watching for 45 minutes straight. And thankfully these people doing commentary are really good. And you're just like staring at the screen very intently.
Yes.
Listening to every word they say because you're trying to figure out what the fuck is this man in a kayak
Yeah,
doing?
you're trying to figure out what's going on because you're watching it and you're like, okay, he's turning, and then he's going upstream now,
What?
and then but he's got to
Did he just
go.
do a figure eight?
He's got to. I get it. He's got to stay between the blue and the red. Oh shit! No, he just went around that blue one to the other side. How? What? What's going on right now? I don't get it. Yeah,
I know.
I wish they
It's so
had.
good.
I wish they had Madden to do that stuff. Like, I I so badly want him to have the pen.
You know, they say 80% of the game is half mental.
Yeah, just
Just
that
saying shit like that.
he's just drawing lines at where he's going. Hey, he's going up here and he wants to get around the blue thing, and then the boom, he hits the hole and he gets it. Hey, yeah, just see, like we're doing the same shit that he's doing at home.
Right, right, right. We're just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's just doing it with authority and a pen,
Yes, and but also
but he's
saying
not explaining
nonsense.
anything. Right.
The goal here is to do it better than the guy before you. So he's going up here, and then he wants to go bam, and then no, if you're the best, you get the gold. You know, just like, all right,
You're like, fuck yeah, dude.
I get it.
Fuck
I
yeah.
Madden's got me in the exact same spot I was when I started watching it, but at least I'm having a good time.
But I'm enjoying every minute of it.
I'm enjoying it. I wake up in the middle of the night just to watch that shit. Set my alarm for it. my alarm goes off at 2:30 in the morning. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" Madden is calling extreme kayaking or whatever the fuck they call this.
The one man upstream kayak
The one
tournament.
man upstream, who knows what's going on kayaking.
To keep it in the fishing realm for a minute, there was a lot of before the official list got announced. There was a lot going on with the fishing community because fishing has been trying to get into the Olympics for several Olympics, is my understanding.
Damn, I didn't know
And
that.
yeah, I was like, oh shit. And it was just funny. So like, if you,
How the
I don't
fuck
know
do
if,
you make it like?
no, they were being serious. They were definitely being
I'm
serious.
just like, I'm not saying that they're not, but how do you make something that has so much luck to it be an Olympic sport? Like
That's a
everything else is
good
100%
question.
skill and what you can do with your body. And if you train, like you can be the
Mm-hmm.
best. You can be better than this person. It's 100%
Yeah.
who's got the drive, who can do more,
Yeah. Yeah.
and to have it be skill, like just have it be
You,
like there's skill, but also luck is just that seems crazy. But to think
yeah.
that I still have a chance, a very slim chance, but a chance at being
An
an
Olympian.
Olympic athlete, that's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. Hell yes, dude. Hell yeah. What a great outlook. But also, you're touching on a lot of stuff that we will get into on, again, in the tournament fishing. We're that's going to be a later topic. We're going to save that for a later topic about sports and stuff like that. So I'm not going to engage you in that conversation right now, and I'm just going to move on to Japan's still in a COVID state of emergency. Let's just bring it down. Let's take the
Bring it on
podcast down a
down.
notch right now. That's serious though. Like they're in a state of emergency, and it's just like we're doing the fucking Olympics anyway. So I don't think there's actually going to be any people in the stands. I've read a few articles. I think it's still mixed up. I don't think they really know what's going on. But I was just like, wait, what? They're in a COVID state of emergency still, and they're just like Olympics, fucking do
Yeah,
it. Which a lot of countries are too. But anyways, it was just something I had to mention because I couldn't do this topic without being like, hot
it
damn, dude.
is crazy for them to just be like, we're still doing it. We've put it off for a year.
Right.
We don't care if there's anybody in the stands. We're getting it done. I wonder, oh,
Yeah,
that's so crazy to think
I
that,
know.
like some of these people might not pass their COVID test.
Right.
And
I
the
know.
Olympics only go for 2 weeks. Like, do you
Uh-huh.
just be like, Switzerland's out of it,
Right.
coughing like a motherfucker?
Right. Right, right. And they've spent their whole life building up to this, and the Olympics comes once every 4 years, and then this, yeah, and then they fucking catch COVID. It's like, oh my god, could you imagine?
That would be
Fuck, the
so
worst way to
shitty.
lose the Olympics ever.
Yeah,
Rather go out with a busted leg like Conor McGregor. Is he retiring now?
right. I don't know. He was still
I
talking
know.
shit. That was the craziest leg break I've ever seen as far as like,
I didn't look it up.
well, the leg break wasn't that gross or whatever, but a lot of times they break their leg and then they're like grabbing their leg and they're like covering their face on the
Right.
gurney going out.
Yep.
And like he broke his leg and then Joe Rogan brought a microphone into him so he could talk shit about how his opponent's wife was in his DMs.
Oh my
And I'm just like,
god!
what?
With a fucking broken leg, dude.
Yes, he's got a broken leg and he's just like, hey, your wife is in me DMs. And just like, what the fuck is happening right
Oh my god. He is a psycho.
just nuts.
Oh my god. All right, back to more wholesome content.
You're right.
So we're still super excited for it. I've been looking up ways to watch it over here because our antenna works, but it doesn't work, and it's fucking stupid. But so I've been looking up a different way, and I think that we can get Peacock, like the streaming service Peacock.
Mm,
I think we can get that, and that will have the Olympics the whole time. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I don't care. I'll pay
yeah.
for 2 months of that shit if I have to.
I wanted to say that Peacock is free, but there is like a subscription version.
Yes. So I haven't even looked into that. I
Yeah.
actually just figured that out. We were watching Shark Week on Discovery Plus. There we go. Hey,
Yeah,
there's your
okay.
plug. Hey, give me a
Ooh,
free month of Discovery Plus.
yeah.
And I was like, hey, so I think Peacock's free, so we should turn that on, I guess, and then see if we have
Right.
to pay for it to watch the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because I'm also wondering, just like we were just talking about, If I pay for Peacock, am I going to get like the 4:30 extreme kayaking live from Tokyo, Japan?
with Madden. I hope so.
I hope so too. So I don't
Yeah.
have the answer for that, which is
No,
not a great topic
I
to be
should look
talking about.
into it. Yeah, I should look into it too because also like I seen like not trying to plug it or whatever, but the Boss Baby movie is on
Mm. Hmm.
Peacock, and
Yep.
I think that's one where you have to pay for it. Like the Boss
Yeah.
Baby's hiding behind the paywall. It's not like we're
Right.
just gonna give
It's not
you
just on the
a
freebie. Hmm.
big movie
Sure.
for free. But my son
Right.
wants to watch it
Yep.
because we watched. They made a TV show too of that.
Netflix. They did a Netflix deal, right? A
Mm,
Hulu deal. No?
I can't remember who's on. It might be Netflix. I can't remember who it's on, but it's definitely not the same characters, not the same people that voice it.
Right. Yeah. Like
There's,
Will's not doing the fucking voice of Boss Baby.
dude. I looked at the actors. There's two people I recognize. The rest, like, and
Yeah.
they're just people that you've seen in movies.
Right.
Like the
Yep.
biggest name they have is the German guy from Pitch Perfect 2. That's the biggest name they got. So it's
That's
not,
really funny.
yeah, it's not like it's
Right.
a A-list celebrity
Yep.
still doing this shit.
Right.
But didn't
All
mean
right.
to get
No.
sidetracked again.
We sidebarred. That's what we do. We sidebar.
Yeah, well, hey,
But
hold on a
don't
second.
you get?
Since we're sidebarring already, I gotta get off of this since we're talking about animated films and stuff. And I was gonna talk about it last week and then I forgot, so I gotta talk about it.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
Just real quick, Mitchell's versus the Machines. Have you seen it?
No.
See that fucking movie. Everybody see that fucking movie. It's a great fucking movie. I can't believe the weirdest sounding movie I've ever heard, and it's fantastic. I loved everything
What is it
about
called
it.
again?
The Mitchells versus Machines. It might not even be. I don't
Oh,
know if
I
it's
know
the
what you're talking
Mitchells
about.
versus the Machines or if it's just Mitchells versus Machines.
Yep. We started it on our like fall asleep on the
Oh
couch
yes,
while we put the baby away sort of situation.
fantastic. I absolutely loved it.
It's a Netflix movie.
Yes,
Yep.
and
Oh, I know what you're talking about. We
I
seen
rec-
it. Like I said, we did actually hit play on it. So
Yeah.
our Netflix probably, if you were to see our Netflix profile, it would say watched. I would tell you,
Yes.
no, I put
Nope.
the baby to sleep and I listened to her cry on the monitor. And when she stopped crying, I fell asleep.
Yep.
That means I made it 4 minutes into that movie.
Yeah. Watch. I highly suggest it to everybody, and it's not just me that liked
Damn.
it. It has
Kick-ass.
98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's I don't want to talk about too much, but it's got like a
Right.
different animation style where
Mhm.
it's like
Yep,
something
I noticed that.
between. Yeah, just check it out. But then also,
Kick-ass.
like the girl creates like videos. So
Mhm.
there's these weird cuts in parts where all of a sudden, like it's a completely different animation style for like a real quick. I don't really know how to explain it, but if you watch it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. There's like real
Yeah, they
quick
changed
cut
the animation
clips.
style from like the 3D, right?
Well, yeah, it'll have like 3D, but it'll have like 2D parts where it'll have
Right.
like all of a sudden
Yes.
like hand drawn style things on the screen that she would have done herself for the like videos that she would
Fuck
make.
yeah.
And then
Damn,
just the
that's cool.
concept itself. It's like you learn really fast, so I'm not spoiling anything, that like the rest of the world is incapacitated. It's been taken over by robots, and
Yep.
the only people left are the Mitchells. And they are just like a normal dysfunctional family, and they are put in charge of saving the world.
That is awesome.
Yes,
That
nobody
sounds so
has
good.
any special, like particularly special skills.
Right.
I just love the storyline, everything about it. I was so impressed by it. I honestly tried to watch it again, where I'm like, buddy, let's watch this again. But then he was just like, let's watch, like, why can't you like
something
this
else.
like you like Frozen? Why do I gotta watch Frozen 400
Why do I gotta
fucking
watch
times?
Frozen over and over? I want to watch this movie. Damn it.
Yeah, and Raya's good too. Raya came out on.
Yep.
Yep,
We
check
watched
that
it.
one out. Yeah, that's a good movie too.
Yep. That's a good one. Okay, back to the Olympics. We're just gonna do a whole animated. We're just gonna have dad animated movie talk one time in this
Well, I mean, we
Anyways,
already did that, but that's why I'm like, we just got to throw these
yeah,
out
we'll
there
do it
again.
again.
People,
We'll do it again.
you guys need to know, man. You got to see it.
It's true. You
Anyways,
got to see them. They're not just for dads. Okay. Back to the Olympics. 339 medal events. It's one of the biggest in history. I was just like, yeah, that's a lot of medals. Because think about it. That's the medal event. That doesn't count how many medals there are, because there's like synchronized swimming where there's like 10 people, and team gymnastics where there's like 50 people or however many. I don't know. It feels like there's 100 different people on those gymnastics teams. So
oh,
there's
so
just
you, I
339
get you.
medal events. Think about where
How
it's
many?
like baseball, right? There's going
Yeah.
to be at least 11 people getting a medal.
Yep. Yep. The basketball team too. There's 5 on the. I think there's 11 people.
Mm-hmm.
5 on the floor plus all your backups. I forget how many backups there are. There's either 5 or 6 or maybe 7. Who the fuck cares? Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, in baseball's not, I just said a random number for 11 because like that's not how many people are on the field, but like you got to have a couple backup pitchers at the very least, right? Like you can't have just one person pitching the whole time.
Yeah.
Like I bet you a baseball team is like 20 people or more deep if you can get that many.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of damn
Oh,
medals
and
going out.
there's so many team sports. There's
Right.
water
During
chicken.
the summer, there's tons. Did you say water chicken?
Yeah, water pollo.
Oh, yeah. Pollo. It's a Spanish joke.
I'm American, bro. I don't say their words. Water. No, I'm just kidding. It's polo, everyone.
But yeah, of course, like you have like and team handball and yeah. And in fact,
Yeah.
there's a new team ping pong that is going on. It's like a men and a man woman combo team, and I'm just like, there's so many damn new events. It's crazy, dude. The extreme sports are coming back. This is really funny to me, and I just put this together right now here on the spot. Skateboarding is in for the first time, which I'm super pumped on. I love skateboarding. Hell
Yes,
yeah, go
me too.
skateboarding.
Yeah.
Nagano, the Winter Olympics,
Mm-hmm.
Japan, Nagano, Japan.
Yeah.
First time snowboarding was in the Olympics. Fuck yeah,
Nice.
Japan.
Yep. Japan's
Also-
always trying to throw stuff in that they can win at. We got good snowboarders. Put snowboarding in. We got good
Right.
baseball players. Put baseball in.
Yeah. I don't know how
don't
their
know if they-
skateboarding game.
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know
assuming we're gonna see one really good one. I know the
Yeah, oh, for sure.
rollerbladers are off the fucking charts.
Yeah, that's right. When the rollerblading was hot, dude, the Japanese rollerbladers were nuts. I remember
They
that
were
for
doing like
sure.
ridiculously insane like gymnastics shits.
Oh yeah, it was
like-
crazy.
Yeah.
The
Like
X Games just, I think, eventually dropped rollerblading because it was just like, I think we've taken it as far as it can go. They're gonna
Yeah,
kill
you-
themselves as they
yeah,
do
you
anything
really
more. There were
can.
like triple backflips
Yeah.
going on.
to me it's like skiing, like big air skiing.
Yeah.
It's just like more flips and more rotations. I get bored with it. But then you do see like it's like a triple backflip, like 1240 or whatever it is, and you're just
Mhm.
like, holy shit. I can't believe he
Right.
was able to find the ground with all that rotation.
Right. Like, is that just pure luck or what just happened?
Right,
Like,
you just
that's
hug it and
crazy
hope
stuff.
for the best.
For real. And so with skateboarding, we're not likely to see anything like that because you know how the big air is like the new thing in X
Mhm.
Games, like the big air
Yeah.
skateboarding. That's not in there. No, they call it park and street, but really park is more like bowl skating. So it's going to be like the flow skating. I think I didn't see a video, but I read the description. And
Yeah.
like flow skating when there's just like a skate park that's built into vert essentially.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of concrete bowls put together. It's like
Poles connected.
yeah.
Yes.
It's like if people aren't familiar, it's like a bunch of emptied out swimming pools with like smoother transitions. But there are some hard edges, which they call the coping still, because there
Yep.
are grinds that they do. But yeah, it's a bunch of
Great.
rolling hills that they can just, like you said, just whoosh.
Yeah, they flow. They just like
Yeah,
pump. It's
just
just
yeah,
like they
right.
never have to push. They just keep themselves going by like pumping their legs and moving
Yep.
their upper body and their shoulders
Yeah.
and just getting that momentum constantly going. And they jump out of the pools and
Oh,
back
and there's
in,
so
and then they'll
many, yeah,
flow.
there's so many things so close to each other that the real
Hmm.
creative ones start doing gaps that nobody else has even thought of. Like they're going from point A to point B, and nobody's thought of taking that line. You're just like, holy shit, I can't believe he
Yeah,
jumped from there to there. That was
right.
gnarly. Like that's where you're
Yeah.
getting the style points, is those giant crazy gaps.
Yeah, when you're like clearing the deck of the pool, as like the best way to
Mm-hmm.
describe it, right? When you're like
Yeah.
gapping the deck from
Yeah,
one pool to the other, you're
you're
like,
jumping
oh
to your
shit.
neighbor's house. Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's what it looked like. So they called that park. I mean, that's not what I traditionally think of as park, but like, hey man, whatever it is, I'm sure they're going to have some
Right.
rails in it and stuff like that, because there is actually a street competition. That's what they're calling it. And that's what I would normally call park, because
That
it's
yeah,
all set up,
exactly.
there's
Right.
like stairs, there's gaps, and people are going to have to push around on that for sure.
Right. Yeah, it won't
Yeah.
be, I mean, sometimes, you know, if they get a good flow going, they don't
Sure.
necessarily, if they set it up well, they'll be
Yep. Which is part of
like,
that competition for
yeah,
sure.
well, there'll be
It's like your
some
line that you take.
yeah, because you'll figure out a line to keep you moving so you can get
Mhm.
more tricks in,
Mhm.
because it's just like figure skating at that point, as far as like the
Mm,
pointing, like the scoring
sure.
goes. Like
Sure.
he's like, because they kind of see what they're gonna do. He's gonna
Mhm.
put this there. He's gonna do this there. His run could get him this
Mhm.
amount of points. I would think an Olympic setting would be like that.
Yeah, because the judges have been there kind of watching warm-ups and stuff like that,
Right.
and yeah, no, that's a really good point. I bet you that is how it's gonna be.
Yeah, because I
But
think
I'm pumped. I hope to catch that because it's big. I mean, I've watched enough X Games that, like, I've seen a lot of it. It's just gonna be cool. It's always cool to see it in the Olympic setting.
yeah.
Like, snowboarding's done really well.
I'm
I hope
really
that
curious
skateboarding can
now
do
that
the
I
same.
said that. Like, I don't know how any of that works. Like, with the figure skating, if you watch the figure skating and you have the announcers, they're always like, all right, she's going to do a triple dipple followed by a
Mhm.
flipper nipple or whatever. I don't know the names of any of
Right.
that shit, but like they know exactly what she's about to do or
Mhm.
he's about to do.
Mhm.
And then they're just like, oh, he was half rotation short on that one. That's going to cost him a point. Like, do you have
Mhm.
to submit that? And if
Yes.
so, in street skating, do you have to? I'm going to do a tray
Fuck no,
flip
dude.
over this gap. Like, I know that that's not how
You better
skateboarding
not have
works, but
to.
in the Olympics, like,
Right.
I don't know. I'm going to do a tray
We're
flip
gonna
over
have to,
this
dude. We're
gap.
seriously gonna have to
I'm going to,
watch to find out,
yeah, I'm
because
going
that's
to,
a really good question,
because
actually.
that would be super cool. Like, not cool, but funny too, where he's like, I'm gonna nose blunt down this rail, and they're just like, yeah, he did a salad there. That's gonna cost him a couple points. Like,
That's gonna cause liar.
yeah, he didn't quite get what he was trying to. He landed it a little bit
No,
wonky. I don't know.
right. No, but you're actually making a really good point, because not that it's easy, but it's possible
Oh, hey, hold on.
to
Seafood chimney. Oh, I discovered a seafood chimichanga tonight, and it was
Yeah,
life
you did.
changing. It was so good, but I've been having those.
But that's
Oh.
the backlash.
Oh.
Okay. So skateboarding.
Yeah,
Good
skateboarding.
transition. But no, you make a really good point, because part of extreme sports is like not falling. And so if it doesn't feel right, you can adapt on the fly. You could like literally adapt on the fly, where you're like,
Right.
oh, my feet are in the wrong spot. I was going to do a kick flip to front board. I don't have the kick flip. I just don't, but I can land a front board all day. Bam,
Right.
you throw a front board down this rail and you just land front board. Looks clean as shit.
Right.
But if you did have to submit a run, that's a mistake. I hope that's not what it is, because it's all about freestyle and just doing what you want. Like that's always been what skateboarding is, right? But
Right.
very interesting thought.
Yeah, that's what. When I said it, I was just like, but maybe I'll have to look into it.
Yeah. Well, I hope that way I can catch it live. I'm gonna try to.
Oh, I want to.
Yeah,
Well,
me too.
do you have any idea what the time difference is like?
In Japan?
Yeah.
Like what is Tokyo? What's the time in Tokyo
Yeah, like if we're
compared
trying
to
to like if we're trying to catch it live, are they doing stuff?
right. I know what
Is
you're
it the
saying.
middle of the night for us when it's their day?
Good. Okay, so I'm not gonna I'm gonna go on a little bit of a side not a it's not a side note. So now we can get all the information we want, just like instantaneous almost, right?
Yes.
Um because we can just go on Twitter or
Yeah.
Facebook or whatever, and people from Japan are posting shit as it's happening.
Right.
They're right. So I remember this from the Rio games, because we're big into the Olympics. We were actually house sitting during the Rio games, and this was, however long ago. And sure, Twitter was already what it was. It was a real thing. So that was, to me, this was like the first time the Olympics really were getting broadcast live, even though we couldn't watch them, because that the big events, they get saved up for prime time. Even
Sure.
though they happened, like 6 hours ago,
Right.
they get saved up and they show them at 6 p.m. over here in the States. I try not to get into that part of it, but I do wonder how they're going to handle it now with like streaming services and DVRs. And it's a very good question that you're asking. But to answer your question, let's see. Tokyo's only about, I don't know, 12 hours ahead of us. 12, 13 hours ahead of us. Like it's the middle of the night here and it's the middle of the afternoon there.
So it's like perfectly fucked. Well, that's the
Yeah.
perfect time for us to be though. Like we wake up at 3 a.m. and we catch live whatever. Like the dopest sport is like when we
That's
wake up in
true.
the middle of the night.
Yeah. But yeah, they're like literally on the other side of the earth from us,
Yeah.
pretty much.
It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. You just turn on to see LeBron dunking live on some dude. Oh shit!
They
No, you know who
just
I
dunk
am?
on someone from
Yeah,
Latvia.
who I am excited
Nice.
to see play is Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine we had on
What?
the Timberwolves for a
Oh,
while,
okay.
and then he got traded in a shitty deal with Jimmy Butler, who fucked us. You fucked us, Jimmy. We traded away a lot
Just so
to
you
get
know.
him, and then he was like, "I don't want to play with these guys." Wah. And then they,
Oh God, another one of those.
yeah, well, and it might have been like some of the players' faults here too, but at the same time, it's like we traded away a lot of shit to get you. Suck it up, make your money, and stop being a whiny bitch, Jimmy. I lost a lot of respect for you in that deal because you fucked us, dude. But
Is he in the Olympics?
I don't think so. He could be. I don't know.
Okay.
But like James Harden, loser ass, decided to opt out. They're like, James, we want you on the team. And James is like, I only know how to do 2 moves. And then everybody's just like, yeah, you should probably stay home. And so Zach LaVine got to go.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
Uh, so yeah, of there's a lot of extreme sports that made it in this year. Like surfing made it in. I was like, oh shit, you can surf in Tokyo? I didn't know that. No, it's 45 miles from the Olympic Stadium, which, I mean, whatever.
yeah.
But hey, there's surfing in Japan. Of course there is. It's a fucking island.
Yeah, it's an island. One side's got to be good.
Right. One side's got to be good. Right. That also is reference. That's a fishing reference too. You can
Yeah.
read the island. Read the.
There's
Anyways.
lots of good fishing in Japan.
Oh yeah.
Freshwater, and I think the world record bass comes out of Japan.
Oh shit. Yeah, you said that. I think
Yeah,
you might have
it's like
said that
22
last.
pounds, dude. It's just a monster.
Jesus Christ, that's huge.
Yeah, like the eyes are bulging out, like it's like ate so much that his eyes can
It's so
barely
much
stay
that
in
its
his
eyes don't even
body.
fit in its
It's
fucking
just
head
like,
anymore. Oh my god. I felt like that once
seafood
after a
Jimmy.
buffet, but after seafood, but my eyes never popped out of my head. No. So there's Anyways, there's a lot, but basketball. There's a new basketball. Did you know that? There's a new version of basketball in the Tokyo Olympic Games. They're playing 3-on-3.
No. Oh, 3-on-3 Olympic
Yeah, dude. Or 21. I put that the notes that I put.
or 21.
Or 21 as we would call it. It's first team to 21, dude. It's just 3-on-3 half
Oh,
court
they're
basketball
playing
playing to
like that,
21.
like half court 3-on-3,
Yeah,
first to
dude. They're just fucking playing
21.
like a pickup game at 21 in the Olympics right now.
That's nuts.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Like I knew that there was, what do they call it? Like the big three or whatever. I think it's Ice Cube, isn't it? There's like a professional 3-on-3 league.
Oh, is there really?
Yeah, and I think Ice Cube owns it.
Oh,
And
shit.
it's all the like a lot of retired basketball players. Like a lot
Really?
of legit basketball players that just don't play professionally anymore.
Yeah, like they just can't cut in the NBA. They just
Yeah.
like aged out at the
Or they're
NBA.
just like don't have the stamina anymore, but they're just like I can play 3-on-3.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of other things that they added in that one too to make it a little bit more interesting. Like I think there's a 4-point circle. Like if you
Oh, like a
shoot,
circle on the ground.
yeah, like a little bit further back. Like if you hit it from
Sure.
that circle, it's a 4-pointer or whatever.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
In the Olympics, they're playing only 1 and 2 pointers. Like there is no 3-pointer. They just like
Oh,
switched to be
really?
1 and 2 pointers. Yeah.
Well, I guess that would make sense because if you got somebody that could really shoot the ball, you're like, check, and then you get the ball back. I wonder if they check it, or if there's
That's
like
a
a
really good
referee
question.
that
It
does that
seemed
stuff.
like it.
I'll have to check that out.
I know, dude. I'm actually
Check it.
pretty pumped on that. I'm not even a big basketball guy, but like I was like, oh, that's
I'm
dope.
curious to see who's playing it too. Like, do you
Do you think
know
you're gonna know
that?
some people?
I don't know. Is it going to be like the people that are playing in those 3-on-3 leagues, or is it literally like how the swimmers can enter in
Mhm.
like a bunch of different things? You know, is it like LeBron just being like, I'm playing 3-on-3 on Tuesday. I'm playing,
And then
five
on
man.
Wednesday, I'm on the 5-man team. Right,
Yeah,
right. For sure. I didn't catch that from the reading that I did, but I would
right.
say that the photo was indicating that these are going to be separate teams.
I would
That like
think
3-on-3 is not going to be NBA.
I would think that 3-on-3 would, yeah, probably be more along the lines of like going back to your roots as Olympics and being like only amateurs
Right.
are allowed to play 3-on-3 because we let
Right.
the big
Yep.
team sports you can have pros play, but
Right.
everything else is only amateurs. So maybe that's the thing
Mhm.
where they're just like, we need basketball teams composed of amateurs because the amateur basketball players are never going to make it in the Olympics
Right.
for basketball or
Mhm.
baseball or whatever it happens to be, because I'm sure like all
Right.
the
Right.
skateboarders are pros too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's going to
So,
be stacked with pros.
but I
100%.
suppose I guess those guys are pros because they're sponsored, not because they're in a league, which there is skateboarding leagues, I suppose. But you would think
Mhm.
that most of the people that are in the Olympics are pro in some form. You know how
Sure.
skateboarders consider themselves to be pro. Like, I'm sponsored, I'm pro, I
Right.
get paid
Yeah, like
to
this
do
is what I
this.
do. This is how I make my money. But
Yeah,
every skateboarder makes their money in a different way. Almost. Not entirely.
right.
But like Ryan Sheckler was a pro for a while. He
Yes,
made his money off of fucking MTV doing a reality TV show. Bam
right,
Margera, not even that good of a skateboarder, professional
right.
skateboarder because he was making his money off of
Yeah,
MTV.
he was more like crazy, where he was doing
Yeah,
like gnarly gaps and like dropping in on stuff most people would be like, that's fucking nuts, dude. And
right.
wasn't like super impressive. It was just like, I can't believe you tried that shit.
Yeah, he's kind of a stuntman. I'm not trying to discredit his professional skateboarding career, but
Oh,
because he was a really good
me
skateboarder for
neither. But
sure.
he was selling as many. His skateboard sales were higher than Tony Hawk's at one point,
Holy
and for
shit. I never even
sure
thought about
he's not better than Tony.
Right, right, right. Yeah, two different styles of skating, but exactly what you're saying is just like as a skateboarder, as a core skateboarder, right?
Right. I mean,
Yeah,
even if you
for
want to
sure.
put him up against the street skaters, the best of the best street
Yep.
skaters were making far less money than he was. And it's all
Yep.
just because of what he was doing with his life, being on
Yeah, yeah,
Jackass and
exactly. You're just making his
whatnot.
money in a different
Yeah.
way.
But that one's
Yep.
almost not even fair because he was like, skateboarder was secondary to what he became.
Sure.
So,
Yep. Yeah. So before we wrap up, because I was like, man, are we going to struggle to talk 40 minutes? I feel like we could knock another 20 minutes out on on this. Surfing. Yep. BMX freestyle's in for the first time, which is super cool. BMX
yeah.
racing has been in for a minute already, which is cool. I like that. I actually watched that a few times, but freestyle's in now. So that's dope.
Yep.
Sport climbing, which totally threw me off as like, what was going 3 disciplines, speed, bouldering, and lead. I didn't look those up. Please let us know in the comments if you're a climber what that means. What is speed, bouldering, and lead? But it's 3 disciplines in one event. So like,
I could tell you what speed is. That's where you just like try to climb to the top and you basically have like that bell or a button or whatever. You just
I
rush
don't
up to
have
the top.
control over that. Sorry.
No, you're
Go
good.
ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that like you just rushing up to the top, just running up that hill. But bouldering and lead, no fucking clue.
Yeah. No, I have no idea either. So if you know, let us know in the comments because I have no fucking clue. And it's the thing though, speed climbing. It's a new thing. But this one was the other one I had to do before we take off. Karate. Of
Karate.
course, Japan wanted fucking
Hell
karate
yeah.
in the Olympics, dude.
Yeah. That's what I'm telling you, dude. They're adding all the shit that they're good at.
Yeah, and it's this year only too. Like Paris actually approved surfing. Paris is in the almost middle of France, which is where the next Summer Olympics is.
Yeah.
Paris is almost in the middle of France, and they're just like, yeah, sure, we'll have surfing, whatever.
Yeah.
Just fucking go out to the ocean and film it, whatever.
Right.
But then karate, no, just in Japan. Let's just keep it in Tokyo. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Get your gold medal.
Yeah, right. They're just oh man, that's good.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty great. There's 2 events too. So it's not even just karate. It's kata, Kata, kata. And this is like a demonstration of your skills.
Oh
That's
yeah,
basically
that's
like
the
the
really
technique.
yeah, that's the really intense little kids. You ever like it's
Those are the karate kids making it
yeah.
on TikTok right now.
Have you ever seen those little kids that do it? You got like 5-year-old kids that are
Mm-hmm.
just like
Mm-hmm.
ah 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 ah, and they're just,
Yep.
you're just like
Yep.
fuck. That's a 5-year-old kid. I don't think I would fuck with.
I'm not gonna fight that kid. That
Just
was intense.
doing flips and shit, and that's where they have the weapons too. They'll have like
Oh.
the long spear with the blade. I don't I
Oh.
don't know
Yep.
if the demonstration has like the different weapons and you get to choose your thing, so they all
Yeah.
have
I
different
actually don't
ones.
know if that's karate
Yeah,
anymore though, because I
yeah.
think
So
karate's just hand to hand only.
maybe that was like kung fu stuff, but when you're doing your
Right.
demonstration stuff, a lot of that was. But maybe this is just the hands, where then they're doing like the Akira shit from
Mm-hmm.
version. You're just
Yep.
bull, that
Right.
shit, just
Yeah.
hitting
Nope.
the marks hard.
Right.
But
You got to go to patreon.com/realafTV to catch the video version. This is so good
but
because it's like impossible to
yeah,
describe because this is how we talk. We want to be those handsy, like noise making kid. Yep.
and
And then of course there is the fighting. It's
kumite.
Kumite. There we go. Thank
Bro,
you.
that's the tournament in Bloodsport.
Oh my God, it is.
Kumite. Yeah.
So they're gonna have that too, but yeah, I just wanted
Yeah.
to say that. That was it. I just wanted to say that
I'm
karate's
gonna
in.
I'm
It's gonna
gonna
be sweet.
watch. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that, and the whole time the kumite is going on, I'm just gonna be screaming, "Make him say mate! Make him say mate!" I,
Yes.
I think that's the word. I think that's what he made him say.
Right.
Then you got that cross-eyed guy. He made him say mate. I still can't. You guys gotta go
I know.
watch that if you haven't seen it, because
You gotta see Bloodsport. Classic.
here's one for the Patreon people if you're watching, because he just like looks over at the lady and she says he made him say mate, and then all of a sudden he goes and like looks at him with that.
That's exactly the look.
That Wonkai just like looks at him like, you really did with that Wonkai. Just...
That's the look. It's so perfect.
I die laughing every single time
Oh,
I ever.
all right. So good.
Kumite, they made it.
All right. Well, that's the end of it. That's the end of the podcast. That's the Olympics. That's Olympics 2021. Obviously, we are both looking forward to it.
Yes.
And because we just learned some stuff about how it's going to be sweet. Follow us, Real AF TV, REELAF TV, on all the social medias. Pretty much, we're not on. We haven't started up TikTok yet. Anyways, REEALAF.
Yeah, we exist
TV,
on
Real
TikTok,
AF TV. We're on the internet. You can find us on our website. What else, Tim?
Oh, I was just saying we exist on TikTok. We just don't do anything. So if you
we just haven't started it. I
think
know.
you could
It's
technically find us, but we don't do shit on there. So
we don't do anything yet. There it is. Go find us. Share with your friends and shit. Because fucking A, man. We want to talk to you. We'd love to hear from you. That's it. Boom.
Yep.